Hi everyone, my name is McCarthy and I did my LGBTQ video project on assisted human reproduction services, or AHR for short, and just reproduction in the LGBT community in general. So the definition of my topic basically is that many of those who define themselves in the LGBT community wish to enter parenthood. Reproduction in the LGBT community has not always been the easiest to go through with. Adoption is a long and hard process, and many LGBT couples nowadays want to have biologically related children, and they can do that through AHR services. A large reason for this change is because throughout the years, reproductive technology has advanced to make it more available for those of the LGBT community to have these biologically related children. And those who seek AHR services are either trying to get pregnant by in vitro fertilization, they are preserving their gametes, or they are trying to obtain a surrogate. Those are for couples who can't conceive, such as two men or some transgender couples. There is an immense amount of information about AHR services in Canada, but of course I wanted to find out some information about them in the United States. So for my map, there wasn't a lot of maps about my topic, but this is a map that shows areas in the United States where same-sex families raising children are the highest. And I will put that right here. So just a little bit of history on my topic. Research on children with same-sex parents was initiated in the 1970s to inform custody cases involving a lesbian mother. In the 1970s, there was research done on children with same-sex parents. Since that time, there has been longitudinal studies issued to follow up the children with lesbian mothers to adulthood. The research has consistently shown that children in lesbian mother families do not differ from those in heterosexual families, other than the fact that they receive disgraceful marks from the outside world. Pick a perfect sperm donor. Lesbians can look through a catalog and they can find someone very specific, such as if they want someone who is Jewish, someone who is African American, someone with blue eyes, someone with a certain color hair. Or they could just pick someone who they know, who they may feel comfortable with getting the sperm from. In the 1990s, there was a time called the Gaby boom. This was a time where those in the LGBT community were entering parenthood more than ever. A little bit more about transgenders and reproductive services. So a lot of transgenders use AHR services to preserve their gametes before they transition to the opposite sex. And cryopreservation of sperm is the most viable option for those trans men who wish to preserve their reproductive material before they receive a sex change. A man named Jake Pine conducted the Transforming Families project with 18 trans parents. None of these parents pursued adoption because they believed that transphobic attitudes may present a barrier to a successful adoption. In 2009, the Ethics Committee of American Society for Reproductive Medicine released a statement concluding that ethical arguments supporting denial of access to fertility services on the basis of marital status or sexual orientation cannot be justified. And this was huge. This was a big step for those in the LGBT community because they felt equal. Another thing about AHR services is that they cost a lot of money. And just the cost of family formation in general is very expensive. I'm going to insert a picture of that right here. The worst part about this is that insurance companies will not cover the AHR services for LGBT communities. So it's out-of-pocket money that the LGBT couples have to spend, which really adds up. And that's also if you don't have any difficulties. A transgender woman trying to freeze her sperm was tested positive for a virus known as cytomegalovirus. The clinic said they could freeze her sperm if she spent an extra $2,000 to have it isolated in a different freezer. So for statistics, I chose a statistic from the United States and Canada. So for my statistic from Canada, AHR services in Toronto, Canada reported that approximately 30% of those coming in to seek AHR services are from LGBT communities. And my statistic from the United States said that in the census in 2010, about 17% of same-sex couples are raising biological, adopted, or stepchildren. Out of these, more lesbian couples are raising children than gay couples. So for the class readings, there wasn't any that really had to do with my topic, which was disappointing, but there was some that I could relate to my topic. On page 139, under the topic of exclusion and equality, it reads that transgender and transsexual individuals have argued for at least a generation that lesbian and gay organizations do not respond to their struggle for inclusion and equality. I believe this relates to my topic because it shows that transgender men and women do not have the support of their fellow LGBTQ members, and further proves how they are among the most stigmatized group in society, which gives rise to the topic that they are most likely to be denied while trying to access AHR services. On a study done of trans people's experience with AHR, the majority of them reported to have negative experiences with the services. The second part in the book that deals with my topic is on page 51. The term essentialism is defined as the notion that homosexuality results from biological factors out of the control of individuals. And this deals with my topic in positive and negative ways because on the bright side, it was very useful for gay rights movements to help people understand the naturalness of homosexuality. But the bad part is that if people who do not understand sexuality or who are on the fence about it or who are just against it know about this essentialism, they may be scared that those LGBT couples trying to reproduce are going to end up reproducing a world of gay babies. More awareness about AHR services for LGBTQ should be spread throughout regions so that people understand more about them and what people of the LGBT community go through while trying to have a child. It's not the easiest process, but many people believe that members of the LGBT community should just adopt. People need to understand that those couples deserve to have a biologically related child if they wish. A participant in the Crafting Our Families research project spoke about their decision to conceive, stating that, and I quote, "It's a desire. I can't explain it. Like, if you feel like you want to have the experience of carrying a child, it's biological. It's not something you can necessarily put away." Many people are homophobic. This is why some of those in the LGBT community experience barriers when they try to receive AHR services. This is not right, and action must be taken. Awareness must be spread on equal rights, and people must be taught that homosexuality is not a choice, and that someone's happiness may not always define your beliefs, but you can at least have an open mind to other people's beliefs. To help with these barriers in the AHR services, training courses should be offered to help those workers or medical practitioners attain a better understanding of the LGBT community. In Canada, there are fact sheets, books, courses, and pamphlets to educate those in the LGBT community that are looking for AHR services and for them to know what they're getting into and what steps to take. These should be more spread throughout the United States. For images and photos, the first photo is a fact sheet about AHR services in Canada, which I will put here. The second photo is a fertility support group flyer in Canada, which I will put here. The next picture is a gay couple with their child. The next picture is a lesbian couple with their children, and this one I especially like because me and my girlfriend are interracial. And this picture is a transgender couple, and I used this couple earlier in a forum that we did. So that is the conclusion of my video. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you.